Hey everybody, it's Mars, and I decided to do this video today just to get it over with, and I'm sorry if I fidget a lot because it's a touchy subject, and some people are probably wondering why is she even talking about it, but a lot of you guys, I really don't know you, but you're actually friends from online. You guys actually interact with me. Some of you I consider my friends. So there are some people that do want updates on what's going on in my life. On April the 2nd, my father passed away. It's really hard to talk about. My hair's a mess. I have been dealing by keeping myself busy and distracted. It's been really, really hard. He was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver and hepatitis C in January. And he had, what is this? Oh, Bento just woke up. Sorry, my sweater's in the way. He had some injections done in Mexico to help you lose weight, and it was like contamination where he got sick and somebody else that went with him also got sick. They were both diagnosed with the exact same thing. And for it to have its effects and to be in its advanced stage, it has to be, or not has to be, but it usually you'll notice or experience effects like problems with your liver and kidneys and stuff after about close to 10 years, 10 to 15 years, which mapped out about right. Come here, Bento. Well, he got sick and he lives in another town, so I couldn't really see him all the time, but I got a call that he was rushed to ICU, actually to the hospital, and I was working, and I just kind of was trying to keep it together, went to work, and things didn't look good, went to work the next day, and I just couldn't take it. I kept crying at work, so I left, and then I went to go to the hospital. And when I saw him the first day, it was really bad. It almost looked like he had a stroke or something, because his eyes, he had no life in his eyes. Like, he kept looking up, and I kept going, "Daddy," and he would just try to look at me. And I didn't know if he was there or not. And they had him on a mask because he couldn't breathe. He was having trouble breathing, and his heart rate was really high. And when I got there, they had him in MICU. And looking at him that first day, I knew he wasn't going to make it out. I knew it. And I was so mad at myself because he kept telling me, "When are you going to come see me?" And I never went to go see him. So I have a lot of guilt, a lot of guilt. And that's what's making it very hard. So they put him in an induced coma. And his kidneys were shutting down, and then his liver, and they had to intubate him, and he was pretty much on life support. And then his blood was septic, so they pretty much had to give him dialysis, and then the infection went to his heart. And it was so upsetting because you go in and they tell you, well, things don't look good. And then you go back in and they're like, well, things are looking better. His lungs are a lot clearer. He doesn't have that much blood, and he's getting better. And then we went to go see him the next day. And we're like, Daddy, wake up, we're here. He squeezed my sister's hand. And I heard that he had been asking about me before they had intubated him. And I wanted him to know that I was there. So we tried talking to him, and we're like, Dad, are you feeling any better? They're saying you're better. If you get better, you get to go home. And they'll take the tube out. And his eyes got really big and shook his head. And we're like, you don't want the tube out? And he just started shaking his head, yes. And then they had to move his IVs into his shoulder and neck, so they told us to leave. And then we went to go eat. And like an hour later, they call us and they're like, you need to get to the hospital now. And they had gotten the reports back from his heart, because they went in to check his heart because they think he had a heart attack. And they're like, it doesn't look good. Everything's shutting down. And we can either keep him on life support, but he's not fighting back anymore. Come here, Benja. And you could hear him, where you didn't know if he was screaming or if it was gurgling in his throat. It was just a horrible sound. And so we're standing over him, signing the DNR papers to do not resuscitate. And it's my stepmom and my two sisters. It's hard to make that decision. But when you see your family members suffering and living by being hooked up to a machine, it's not a way to live. And he never wanted that. So right when we were signing the papers, I was like, I can't be here. I can't be here to watch him go. So we were signing the papers, and they said they were going to give him morphine so that he could go to sleep and go pretty much stop breathing. And right when they signed the papers, and right when I walked out of the room, he died. He didn't even wait. It was like he was just waiting for us to leave. Or he was just waiting for all of us to be together and acknowledge and accept that he wasn't going to get better, and then he just let go. The good thing is that he didn't go painfully. And I knew it was bad because his heart rate was going from 42 to 71, and it was jumping up and down, and his blood pressure was dropping. I just can't believe he's gone. When I was shopping for dresses for the funeral, well, he wanted to be cremated. And they had like a last minute rosary or a showing of the body. And it didn't even look like him. When I was shopping for a dress, I was just thinking like, wow, I never imagined having to pick out a dress for my father's funeral. And then when you go to funerals and you go to rosaries and you see the family there and you have to go and shake everyone's hand, I never imagined myself being in that, on the other end. And what's worse, and what I don't recommend anyone to have a rosary, is they make you be there for 9 hours. I had to sit there for 9 hours and stare at my father in a casket. It was very hard, and I'm trying to deal with it. I have a lot of guilt. he just, I never went to go see him. We were fighting. So my word of advice would be is that if you're fighting with someone, make up with them, because you never know when they're gonna be gone. Especially if it's a father or a mother. And his birthday is on the 12th. And he kept telling everyone in the family that this was going to be his last Easter. And he wanted everybody to get together. There was going to be 150 people going. And he's like, this is going to be my last Easter. And he died right after Easter. He didn't want to go to the hospital because he kept saying that he wasn't going to make it out in time. I just have a lot of regret and guilt. And if I stop and think about it, I'm gonna cry all night. Because my heart hurts so much. And I wanted some things to remember him by. And I have a box downstairs. And every time I go downstairs, I break down and cry. And I found a bunch of videos from when I was little that we recorded of home movies, and I can't watch them. My dad was a big fan of Bob Dylan and the Beatles. So my cousin put Bob Dylan on at the Rosary, and I just broke down. My dad was the type of person that he would play the harmonica and the guitar at the same time and sing a lot of country, a lot of Bob Dylan, a lot of the Beatles. I mean, we had our arguments and stuff, but it's like I have stories like that I could tell that not many parents do. Like when I was little, he made me watch the movie It, and then woke me up in the middle of the night and chased me around with a clown mask. And a knife. And after he saw the Ace Ventura movie, anytime I brought anyone over, he would talk out of his ass. Literally. Asking for Banaka. I'm just gonna miss him. There's just a lot of things there that I don't think I'm going to be able to handle on my own. And my doctor had discussed going to a psychiatrist about my Xanax, and I was like, I don't need to see a psychiatrist. But now dealing with this, it's like I feel like I can't talk to anybody about it because it puts people in an awkward state. It's just like, it makes people uncomfortable. And then people keep telling me, don't feel guilty, it's not your fault. I don't want to hear that because that doesn't make that feeling go away. So I think I'm going to go see a shrink. Because I'm having a very hard time getting through this. But I will quit boring you guys. That is my update on life. So if you see any hauls or things like that, I'm fine. Just don't ask about my dad or anything like that, because I'm trying not to talk about it. Because I'm fine, and then the minute I talk about it, I break down. So I'm kind of trying to ignore it or distract myself. I don't think that that's smart, but I don't know how to get better on this. I've never lost a parent. I've lost my stepfather, and that was hard. But my dad, I was close with my stepfather. I don't have that guilt, but I do now. We went for over a year without talking. She can tell I'm sad. I felt so bad. I left her alone. My mom was checking on her. She told me she's not eating, so I had to rush home. Because she started getting lonely and she won't eat unless I'm there. And I was gone for over a week. But that's it. Thanks for watching. And I hope you guys learned from this. So, don't have any regrets like I do. Make amends with your family members. Thanks for watching. Bye.